Well, good morning and welcome to Move Early, Move Often. It is Twisted Tuesday. I am Blake Martin, and today well, we're going to do magic stretching. You're going to need a ball. A tennis ball is good. You can use one of these, you could use an Acu ball. It should be around this size, kind of a few centimeters across, tennis ball side. A road hockey ball, a lacrosse ball would work. Golf ball is a little too small. You want something about this size. Color does not matter, oddly enough. And let's actually just get to it. We're going to jump out into the space. I'm going to take the tennis ball because then you don't feel like I'm cheating you in some way. Just moving into the space, you're just going to reach up, do a couple pandiculations, a little pandiculation to one side and just to the other. We're just kind of doing a little bit of mobility work. Just moving into the stretch. Keep your hip anchored onto the floor. Keep your hip anchored. Keep your hip anchored onto the floor as you reach. Inhale, up and over to the other side. Let's just kind of move our trunk around here. A little bit of trunk rotations. Just getting our hips going. A little bit of mobility. We're just lubricating the joints, getting things going. Okay. So what I want you to do next is I want you to go into a gentle hanging forward stretch. So I'm just hanging over and my hands are going toward the floor. And I want you to just kind of hang here and then just come back up again. Second time, round two. Just wiggle out your hips a little bit, hang forward again, and just observe as you go down. Does one set of fingers hang down a little bit lower? For me, it's my right fingers hang just maybe a centimeter lower. I'm gonna come back up again and wiggle out my hips, and one last time. And just observing again, one set of fingers. Now, I'm not completely reaching the floor, and that's not the objective here. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to look at something completely different. Here's what I want you to do. Oh, I forgot to start my timer. I need to know. I always tap out of my timer, like I forget about it. So what I want you to do is we're going to stand in the space with your tennis ball under the foot where the arm was hanging less higher. So for me, it's my left. I'm just going to take that foot and I'm just going to imagine that there's paint on the bottom of my tennis ball. So just do this with me. We're just painting the bottom of our foot and we're trying to get the paint from the tennis ball all over our foot. And really cover the bottom of your foot evenly. Push into the little places under your toes. Yeah. And then come up around the borders of your foot, around the edge of your heel. Just paint. And your ball might try to escape. Catch it. Bring it back. Don't let the ball escape. You're going to need it. And keep going. We're going to do this for a little bit. You got to kind of balance on your other foot. That's okay. And really get that paint everywhere. Really push into the little crevices. Try to get all over. Imagine that there's places on your foot that are not getting painted really well, and make sure that you get the paint there. So we're going to keep going. We're almost done this side. So just really, I'm painting in between my toes, making sure that I get in all those little spaces and into the arch really well. The medial border of the foot, that's the inside side of the foot, and the outside part of the foot. When I do the outside, it always tries to get away. Around the heel again, just really painting around there. All right, and just roll out that paint. My foot is completely covered in what I'm imagining is blue paint. And let's just take this, stand, and I just want you to do your hang forward again. And I want you to notice whether that side that you painted, whether it went low or not. And for me, it does. Went way lower. My fingers are actually touching the ground. magic stretching, right? All we did was paint the bottom. So let's tackle that on the opposite foot as well now, because you probably want to be more even. We'll do that. So we're just going to set off and we're going to paint here. Do that for 2 minutes on this side too, just so we can even things out. So why does that work? Actually, if you just stood there and wiggled your foot around in the air, one foot around in the air, and was standing on the other one, it would not work. I've tried it on a few occasions, and it does not work. And so it's not just the standing on one foot that does it. That's not the thing. It's actually something about getting the paint all over the bottom of your other foot. Really get that paint around under your toes. Get it between the toes if you can, a little bit from underneath. The arch of the foot, medial border. So what is happening when we do that? Well, we're actually we're pushing on this connective tissue that runs like a sheet over all of our muscles on our whole body. It's called fascia. And that connective tissue, it runs from the bottom of our foot up the back of our leg, runs all the way up the back of our spine, all over, completely covers all of our body parts and under the skin. And it also, make sure you keep painting, and it also goes between muscle compartments. Okay, your muscles are divided into little compartments. And it goes between those two. And that fascia, that tissue, that connective tissue, it actually gets very tight, but it's connected completely from bottom to bottom, everywhere. You've got it everywhere. And it's really quite remarkable how ubiquitous it is. So as we do this little stretching here, what you're going to notice, what we're actually doing is we're not just, when I impact the fascia for the bottom of my feet, it's connected to, not surprisingly, the connective tissue, 9 more seconds, on the back of my legs. And so if I take care of the connective tissue on the bottom of my feet, I also take care of the connective tissue on the back of my legs. And let's go forward again, just hanging forward. And I'm almost at my toes on my right side. Not quite, but I'm way lower than I was before. Magic stretching just through this. Let's also do it on our hands. Same thing is true for our hands. We're going to come down onto the mat, just kind of have a little, you're going to in a kneeling position. And I'm just going to put my hand over top of this, and I'm leaning with I'm not pushing with my hand, I'm leaning with my body, and my arm is kind of straight so that the pressure from my movement can get into the floor. And this is actually impacting the fascia all on the palmar surface of your arm. And just kind of work that all around. Get up between the fingers there. If we had done kind of a stretch where you put your fingers against the wall pointing backwards, just to check how much mobility you have, I'll show you the stretch I mean in another half minute. If we had done that stretch originally, we would notice a difference. And you can do that. But you can also just trust me. I'm not going to lie to you. But this little hand massage actually impacts the whole shoulder girdle right up into your chest and all of that as well. All right. And just kind of going everywhere. And if I had tested my hand like this first, fingers pointing backwards against the wall, I would notice more facility doing that now. But I didn't do that test originally. I can do it on my right side, just kind of see how easy it is. Typically, you put your hand on the wall so you can tell. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll the ball around on our hand, magic stretching. We're taking care of, and I'm using my body weight again. I'm rocking with my arm, nice and long, extended, and it's not rigid. It's not like a ramrod, but it is elongated. And going up onto the fingers, And the great thing about this little move is it costs you almost nothing. It costs you 2 minutes, and it provides a lot of release into your fascia, which is this very important tissue. And you can do this in lots of places on your body with just rolling a tennis ball around it and get strong effects. You can pop one under your low back, and really the tennis ball isn't going to do a lot to your muscles, but it will do some things to your fascia. Another half minute here, just rolling it around. And I'm using my body weight again. I'm rocking onto the ball. All right. And just pointing your fingers backwards, and I can feel a difference personally. If I had it against the wall, I might be able to see a difference too. So magic stretching isn't really all that magic. It's simply we're using principles of the body, the principle of the body being covered in this connective tissue, and we're taking care of the connective tissue part of stretching. Muscle only makes up a very small component of your overall mobility in a joint. The connective tissue makes up a huge component of it as well as do bony structures. So take care of these connective tissue things. Take a ball, keep a ball next to your desk at certain points in your day, especially if you've got a standing desk. Pop your foot out of your shoe and get on top of that ball. You give yourself a little roll, and you can really change the way the whole back of your body feels just by taking care of your feet. You've moved early. Please remember to move often. Join us tomorrow for Wobbly Wednesday. We'll be back. Wobbling is what we'll be doing because it's Wobbly Wednesday. Have a great day. Take care.